Ever wonder why the Yankees are called Yankees or what a Dodger actually is? Baseball's team names tell fascinating stories of American history, local pride, and sometimes bizarre marketing decisions. Let's uncover them all. American League East, Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles got their name from Maryland's state bird, the orange and black Baltimore Oriole. Before becoming a baseball icon, the Oriole appeared on Lord Baltimore's coat of arms back in the 17th century. The original Baltimore Orioles played in the American Association and National League in the 1880s and 1890s. When the St. Louis Browns relocated to Baltimore in 1954, they adopted this historic name to connect with the city's baseball tradition. The bird's striking orange coloration perfectly matches the team's uniforms, creating one of baseball's most recognizable brand identities. Locals affectionately call them the Birds or simply the O's. Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox didn't always have such a colorful name. Founded in 1901 as the Boston Americans, they represented the American League in the baseball-mad city that already had the National League's Boston Braves. In 1908, owner John I. Taylor changed the name to Red Sox after the team's distinctive red stockings. This wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a direct response to the Cincinnati Red Stockings, who had abandoned their Red Sox, leaving the style up for grabs. Interestingly, the spelling Sox rather than Sox was chosen because it fit better in newspaper headlines. This shortened version became so iconic that when Chicago's American League team changed their identity in 1908, they became the White Sox, using the same spelling pattern. New York Yankees. The New York Yankees started as the Baltimore Orioles in 1901 before moving to Manhattan in 1903 as the New York Highlanders. The name reflected both their field's elevated location at Hilltop Park and honored the British military unit Gordon's Highlanders. However, sports writers found Highlanders too cumbersome for headlines. They began using Yankees or Yanks as a nickname, a term that originally referred to Dutch settlers in the New York area before expanding to mean New Englanders and eventually all Americans. In 1913, the team officially adopted Yankees, creating one of sports' most valuable brands. The name has become synonymous with baseball excellence, with the team winning an unprecedented 27 World Series championships. Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays have undergone a fascinating name evolution. When they entered MLB in 1998, they were the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, named after the marine stingray common in Florida's Gulf waters. In 2008, under new ownership, the team dropped Devil from their name for two strategic reasons: to shed their losing reputation and to avoid religious connotations that might alienate fans. The shortened Rays now carries a double meaning, still referencing the marine life but also Florida's abundant sunshine. The rebranding worked spectacularly. In their first season as just the Rays, they reached the World Series, completing one of baseball's most remarkable turnarounds. Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays got their name through a public contest when Canada received its second MLB franchise in 1976. Out of more than 30,000 suggestions, Blue Jays emerged victorious. The name was perfect. Blue Jays are native to Canada. The blue color represented Toronto's sports scene, Maple Leafs, Argonauts, and it paid homage to the first Toronto baseball team that played in the 1880s, also called the Blue Jays. Team directors loved that the Blue Jay is aggressive, intelligent, and doesn't back down from challenges, qualities they wanted their expansion team to embody. The distinctive Bluebird logo has remained central to the team's identity ever since. American League Central, Chicago White Sox. Chicago White Sox got their name in 1901 from founder Charles Comiskey. Having just moved his St. Paul Saints to Chicago, Comiskey decided to adopt the name of a previous Chicago team that had played as the White Stockings in the 1870s. By 1901, those original White Stockings had evolved into the Chicago Cubs. Comiskey seized the abandoned name, shortening it to the White Sox to fit newspaper headlines better. The name has survived through the team's highest highs, World Series championships, and lowest lows, the 1919 Black Sox scandal when players conspired to throw the World Series. Today, the White Sox remain one of baseball's most distinctive brands with their black and white color scheme. Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians have baseball's most recent name change, adopting this identity in 2022 after 107 years as the Cleveland Indians. The team's original name dated back to 1915, supposedly honoring Louis Sockalexis, a Native American who played for Cleveland in the 1890s. After years of controversy and protests from Native American groups, the team announced in 2020 they would change their name. They chose Guardians to honor the iconic Guardians of Transportation statues on Cleveland's Hope Memorial Bridge. These Art Deco figures represent progress and protection, values the team wanted to embrace while maintaining a connection to Cleveland's history. The name change represents baseball's evolving sensitivity to cultural representation. Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers got their name all the way back in 1901, making it one of baseball's oldest continuously used team names. The origin comes from the orange stripes on their early uniforms, which reminded people of tigers. Another theory connects the name to Detroit's oldest military unit, the Detroit Light Guard, who were nicknamed Tigers during the Civil War for their fierce fighting spirit. The Tigers' distinctive Old English D logo has become synonymous with Detroit itself, representing the city's resilience and pride through both baseball success and the city's economic challenges. Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals were named through a fan contest when they joined MLB as an expansion team in 1969. The winning name honored the American Royal Livestock Show, a Kansas City tradition since 1899. Team owner Ewing Kaufman loved the name because it had local significance while projecting excellence and championship aspirations. The name also gave the team a regal logo featuring a crown and shield, creating one of baseball's most distinctive visual identities. What many don't realize is this wasn't Kansas City's first Royals team. A Negro League team called the Kansas City Royals played in the 1940s, adding another layer of baseball heritage to the name. Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins got their name when the Washington Senators relocated to Minnesota in 1961. The name Twins brilliantly represents the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, ensuring neither city felt slighted by the team's arrival. Owner Calvin Griffith chose the name to unite both cities behind one team. The original logo showed two baseball players shaking hands across the Mississippi River, symbolizing the team bringing the twin cities together. The name has become so integral to Minnesota's identity that the team's mascots are Minnie and Paul, two characters who represent Minneapolis and St. Paul exchanging a handshake over the Mississippi River. American League West. Houston Astros. The Houston Astros weren't always so cosmically named. Founded in 1962 as the Houston Colt 45s, they rebranded in 1965 when they moved into the revolutionary Astrodome, the world's first dome sports stadium. The name Astros connected the team to Houston's prominent role in America's space program. The NASA Johnson Space Center had opened in 1961, making Houston the epicenter of the space race with the famous line, "Houston, the Eagle has landed." The Astros name allowed for space-themed branding, with early uniforms featuring orbit lines and stars. The team's current H-star logo continues this cosmic connection, cementing Houston's identity as Space City. The Los Angeles Angels. The Los Angeles Angels have baseball's most geographically confused name history. Founded in 1961, they were originally the Los Angeles Angels, reflecting the city's Spanish name, El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de los Angeles. When they moved to Anaheim in 1966, they became the California Angels, representing the entire state. In 1997, new Disney ownership changed it to the Anaheim Angels to promote the city where Disneyland is located. Then in 2005, owner Artie Moreno created the awkward Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim to capture the larger LA market while technically keeping Anaheim in the name. They've since unofficially dropped of Anaheim, returning to their original name despite playing 26 miles from Los Angeles. Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics have baseball's deepest name roots, dating back to 1860 when the Athletic Club of Philadelphia formed as an amateur sports club. Their baseball team turned professional in 1871 as founding members of the National Association. The name Athletics comes from these athletic club origins. Fans shortened it to the A's, which became the team's iconic letter logo. The Athletics moved to Kansas City in 1955, then to Oakland in 1968, keeping their historic name throughout these changes. The A's elephant mascot comes from an insult turned proud symbol. In 1902, rival manager John McGraw mockingly called the team White Elephants, expensive but useless, so owner Connie Mack defiantly adopted the elephant as their symbol. Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners got their name through a fan contest when Seattle was awarded an expansion team in 1976. Out of over 15,000 entries, Mariners was selected for its perfect connection to Seattle's maritime identity. The name honors Seattle's rich heritage as a major Pacific port city with an economy built around fishing, shipping, and naval operations. The team's Compass Rose logo further reinforces this seafaring theme. Interestingly, this wasn't Seattle's first MLB team. Seattle Pilots played just one season in 1969 before becoming the Milwaukee Brewers. The Mariners' name gave the city a fresh start and a permanent baseball identity. Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers began as the Washington Senators expansion team in 1961. When they moved to Arlington, Texas in 1972, owner Bob Short needed a new name reflecting their new home. He chose Rangers to honor the famous Texas Rangers law enforcement agency, founded in 1823. This legendary group of frontier lawmen had protected Texas since before it was even a state, making the name deeply connected to Texas heritage. The team's T logo with a baseball in the center has become one of sports' most recognizable symbols, representing not just the team, but Texas pride itself. National League East. Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves have one of baseball's oldest names, dating back to 1912 when they were the Boston Braves. The name came from owner James Gaffney, who was a member of New York's Tammany Hall political organization, whose symbol was an Indian chief. Before that, they cycled through names like Bean Eaters, Doves, and Rustlers. The Braves' name stuck, following them to Milwaukee in 1953 and Atlanta in 1966. The name has become controversial for its Native American imagery, though the team has worked with tribal leaders to address concerns. Unlike Cleveland, Atlanta has kept their name while retiring some traditions like the tomahawk chop. Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins started as the Florida Marlins in 1993, named after the marlin, a powerful game fish abundant in Florida's waters and popular among sport fishermen. When they moved to their new Miami Stadium in 2012, they rebranded as the Miami Marlins to better connect with their home city. The change included new colors, reflecting South Florida's vibrant culture: blue for the ocean, orange for the sunsets, and black for strength. The marlin itself represents the fighting spirit of these powerful fish, known for spectacular leaps and battles that can last hours, qualities any baseball team would want to embody. The New York Mets. The New York Mets got their name when New York needed a new National League team after losing both the Giants and Dodgers to California in 1957. When the expansion franchise was awarded in 1961, owner Joan Payson held the Name the Team contest. The winning entry was Mets, short for Metropolitans, a historic New York baseball team from the 1880s. The name perfectly captured New York's identity as America's largest metropolitan area. The team's blue and orange colors strategically combined the departed Dodgers blue and Giants orange, helping heartbroken fans transfer their loyalty to the new team. The Mets name has since become synonymous with both miraculous victories and spectacular collapses. Philadelphia Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies have baseball's oldest continuously used team name, dating back to 1883. Unlike many team names with elaborate origin stories, Phillies is simply short for Philadelphians. When the team was founded, newspaper headlines needed a shorter name, and Phillies was the obvious choice. The team briefly tried rebranding as the Blue Jays in 1943, but fans continued calling them Phillies, and the original name was soon restored. The simplicity of the name reflects Philadelphia's straightforward working-class character. The team's Liberty Bell logo connects them to the city's revolutionary history. Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals name resurrects a piece of baseball history. When the Montreal Expos relocated to Washington, D.C. in 2005, they adopted Nationals to honor two previous Washington baseball teams, the American League Nationals, 1905 to 1956, and later the Senators, and the National League Nationals, 1886 to 1889. The name connects to the capital's national significance while providing a link to Washington's baseball past. Their curly W logo, adapted from the old Washington Senators design, strengthens this historical connection. Fans often call them the Nats, creating one of baseball's catchier nicknames. The name represents both political unity and the return of baseball to the nation's capital after a 33-year absence. National League Central, Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs weren't always so adorably named. Founded in 1876 as Chicago White Stockings, they went through several identity changes, including the Colts and Orphans, before becoming the Cubs in 1903. Cubs' nickname emerged when manager Frank Seeley rebuilt the team with many young players. Newspaper writers started calling them Seeley's Cubs, and the name stuck. The team officially adopted it, embracing the youthful energy it represented. The name's staying power is remarkable considering it began as something of a taunt about the team's inexperience. Now, over a century later, it's one of sports' most beloved brands, with the iconic Cubs logo in Wrigley Field creating baseball's most nostalgic experience. Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds have baseball's oldest franchise name, dating back to 1869 when they were founded as the Cincinnati Red Stockings, baseball's first professional team. The name simply referred to their Red Sox, which made them immediately recognizable. Over time, the name shortened naturally to Reds. During the McCarthy era of the 1950s, the team briefly changed to Redlegs to avoid any association with communism, but returned to Reds by 1959 when the Red Scare subsided. The team's iconic Wishbone C logo dates back to 1905, making it one of baseball's most enduring symbols, representing America's oldest professional baseball club. Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers perfectly represent their city's famous brewing industry. When the Seattle Pilots relocated to Milwaukee just days before the 1970 season, new owner Bud Selig named them after Milwaukee's brewing tradition and the original Milwaukee Brewers minor league team. The name honors Milwaukee's identity as a beer-making powerhouse, home to major breweries like Miller, Pabst, and Schlitz. The team embraces this heritage with their famous ball and glove logo that cleverly forms an M and B. Bernie Brewer, their mascot who slides into a beer mug after home runs, and the racing sausages further celebrate the city's food and drink culture, making the Brewers one of baseball's most perfectly named teams. Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates got their unusual name through a controversial incident. In 1890, the team signed second baseman Lou Bierbauer, who had played for the Philadelphia Athletics. Philadelphia officials claimed that Pittsburgh had pirated their player. Instead of denying it, Pittsburgh embraced the accusation. Newspapers began calling them the Pirates, and the team officially adopted the name in 1891. It's one of the few major sports teams' names that originated as an insult. The Pirates' black and gold colors, adopted in 1948, match Pittsburgh's other professional teams, creating a unified city identity that strengthens the connection between the team and its fans. St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals weren't originally named after the Red Bird. Founded in 1882 as the Brown Stockings, the team was purchased by Frank Robinson in 1899. He changed their color to cardinal red, the same shade worn by his other team, the Cleveland Spiders. Sports writers began calling them the Cardinals because of the uniform color. The team officially adopted the name in 1900, and the bird association came later, with the first cardinal bird appearing on uniforms in 1922. The name has grown into one of baseball's most iconic brands, with the birds on bat logo symbolizing the rich tradition of Cardinal Nation across the Midwest. National League West, Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks got their name through a fan contest when Phoenix was awarded an expansion team in 1995. Out of 15,000 submissions, Diamondbacks was chosen to honor the western diamondback rattlesnake native to Arizona. Team owner Jerry Colangelo liked that the name had a southwestern connection while sounding intimidating. The Diamondback is known for its diamond-shaped patterns and venomous strike, qualities that translate well to baseball with its diamond-shaped field. The team is commonly known as the D-backs, creating one of baseball's most distinctive nicknames. Their original purple and teal color scheme was later changed to Sedona red, reflecting Arizona's desert landscape. The Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies got their name when Denver was awarded an expansion team in 1991. The name was the obvious choice, honoring the majestic Rocky Mountains that dominate Colorado's landscape and identity. This team wasn't Denver's first Rockies. Both an NHL team and a minor league baseball team had previously used the name, demonstrating its natural fit for Colorado sports. The purple team color represents the Purple Mountain Majesties from America the Beautiful, which was inspired by Pikes Peak in Colorado. The team's mountain range logo creates an instant association with Colorado's natural beauty, making it one of sports' most geographically appropriate team names. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Los Angeles Dodgers have a name that made perfect sense in Brooklyn, but seems strange in Los Angeles. Founded in 1883 as the Brooklyn Atlantics, they cycled through names including Grays, Bridge Grooms, and Superbas before becoming the Trolley Dodgers in 1911. The name referenced the dangerous game Brooklyn pedestrians played avoiding the city's many trolley cars. It was shortened to just Dodgers and became beloved in Brooklyn. When the team moved to Los Angeles in 1958, owner Walter O'Malley kept the name despite its lack of local relevance. The Dodgers name now represents tradition and the team's Brooklyn roots rather than any Los Angeles connection. San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres got their name from the Spanish Franciscan friars who founded San Diego in 1769. Padre means father in Spanish, referring to these missionary priests who established California's first missions. The name wasn't new to San Diego baseball. The minor league San Diego Padres had played in the Pacific Coast League from 1936 to 1968. When the MLB expansion team arrived in 1969, they adopted this established local name. The Padres' brown and gold colors, recently restored after years of blue and white, represent the robes of the Franciscan friars, creating one of baseball's most historically connected team identities. San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants brought their name with them from New York when they moved west in 1958. The original name dates back to 1885, when manager Jim Moutrie supposedly called his players "my Giants" after a big victory, referring to their imposing physical size. The name stuck, becoming the New York Giants for over 70 years before their California relocation. In San Francisco, the name took on new meaning. The city's massive bridges and nearby redwood trees created a land of giants that made the name still feel appropriate. The Giants' interlocking SF logo has become one of baseball's most recognizable symbols, representing both the team's New York heritage and its deep connection to San Francisco. If you've enjoyed this baseball name journey, don't forget to hit subscribe for more sports history and trivia. Leave a comment with your favorite team name origin, and I'll see you next week.